sat in my home studio. As you can see, I've got some current artwork on at the moment, which is a Mando helmet. And this is my office space. And why I'm doing this is it's a little video more that I'm going to keep about my side projects. So just let me set the scene first of all. So I am a bit of the kind of the crossover between the creative and the artistic pursuits, and also the technology. So I'm a graphic designer. When I went to college, I actually got into college because I'd done some computer stuff from a design perspective. And then at my age, basically, I came into the design industry just as computers were taking over. So I have used my creativity, my kind of artistic skill set within the computer-based system. So I've always been enamored by technology, and probably, Star Wars, sci-fi, all that kind of stuff comes from that sort of that element, that crossover of creativity and technology. So set the scene there. So I've always been interested in computers, always been interested in anything on that side of stuff. Over the years, I've been in the startup world. I actually had a sticker company that produced stickers for startups. A lot of the time, we gave them away free to help support startups. But I had a lot of help from friends in the startup world as well. So it's kind of like a karma give you back stuff thing. I've been down the augmented reality road. I've built products and projects within augmented reality. Well, in the early days, I've built apps. Well, I say I've built apps, but I've commissioned apps to be built, and I have tinkered myself with some bits and bobs. And then, so I've done quite a lot in technology. So the point of me telling you all this is just in case you came to me thinking that I was a guy who just drew on stuff, is that I do that, but foundationally, I am what I call a creative technologist, which is like a word probably exists, but I kind of use it to explain really my crossover. So as an artist, for the last couple of years, so I've run a business for 20 odd years, 20 years this month actually. And what I found was that over in like 2022, it was like a best year ever. And then 23 was quite difficult. One of our key clients sort of started to have some difficulty to bring things to market. And yeah, it kind of just slowed up. And then there was a few internal things with staff who, wanted to leave for their own reasons. And I just felt, oh God, I'll just wind up the business. So I didn't actually technically wind up the business from an accounting perspective. Everything is still there. Everything was still running, but I just stopped doing the work really. Then a couple of clients here, there, and just friends sort of give me a little bit of work. So there was a trickle, but we dropped in turnover terms probably to 1/10 of what I was earning when I had staff and a business. And that became quite difficult, to be quite honest, for me and my family. So I chased the dream of being an artist and ended up finding that it was just, actually wasn't a dream that I could chase. I actually did have money, availability, and I had things in the pipeline. But yeah, after 2 years, it was excruciating, and I haven't got a problem in telling you that I needed to get back to work. So back of beginning of 2006, I restarted the business, which was sort of going. Let's say I restarted the mindset of business, and creativity was still there and art was still there, but it wasn't the key thing that I was looking for. I was trying to make money. So back into this, say, run my own business for 20 years. I think I can move the needle. And it's proved that the last 3 months, 4 months we're in now, that I've been able to generate income, get back in with some clients, get back on the horse, as it were, of business, and things are moving forward. So I reckon by the middle of this year, so in another 2 months, I will be very back onto a very solid ground of business. But part of me also thinks, you know what? I don't want to spend all my time doing business. I don't want to spend all my time doing work. I want a business that could work without me, because I just want to get on with this. I love doing this kind of stuff. And so I've had this thing going around my head for years, but particularly in this AI era, I need to get on. I need to find a product that works without me, and I need to find a way of running a business. Now, again, we've done apps and all that kind of stuff in the past, and I've done loads and loads of businesses and side projects. It's just part of being a creative. Or especially when you're into technology, you have the ability to deploy all these ideas, so therefore you do. So anyway, let me cut this to the nub. This is 6 minutes worth of introduction, but basically what I did was, just in the last month, really, I sat down and really got into Claude. Now, for the last year or two, I've been doing things with AI. I was very early with Manus before it was bought out by Meta. I was using Claude. I was using ChatGPT's agent function when it was $200 or £200 a month, whatever it was. So I tried all these things. None of them actually worked how they're promised to work. Then Claude Co-work came along, and that did deliver on the promise, but where we're at. So what I decided to do was I proposed to Claude that we build a business and we make money in 24 hours. I've watched all of these videos of all these people doing these things and making millions of pounds, etc. So I was like, I'm going to do it. So asked Claude what to do, gave it a few ideas. It gave me a few ideas, and I was like, no, let's not do that. Let's do this instead. So we ended up with a gardening based product, which I, have owned my own home for quite some time. And over, when you first own your own home, especially if you have a garden, one of the key things is you want to do a bit of gardening and you want to grow your own food. It's just I think it's just a human thing. So back when I first got married and I had a house, and we used to grow our own vegetables, but didn't really know anything with like potatoes, carrots, onions, a few other sort of key things. We didn't have a lot, but we tried it. And I thought, oh well, maybe it's worth like doing that, looking at something for like building a PDF or something that could help us. And one of the key things, insights from my perspective, was that the weather changes up the country. So I suggested to Claude that we need to look at how we sell in this PDF. Like, what's the differentiator? So it went and did a bit of research. My idea of doing it regionally based it said no one's done that. So that was good. Because apparently, if you were to get some seeds for some produce, there is a 4-week difference for planting in spring, which we're past now, by the way, between the south of the country, Cornwall, etc., and the very north, like Aberdeen or wherever. So I thought it was quite an interesting insight. Went so far, required me to do some things, and I just thought, it was a great idea as a business model because it was a PDF and everything linked back to me. So if you were in the PDF and you wanted to buy something, I could make a return on it. But ultimately, it wasn't in an area of interest to me. It was just like a novel thought process. So it never got actioned. So then come back to it a month later, and I'm like, well, what else can I do to get this thing? So I had recently been doing quite a bit of SEO for one of my brother's companies. So my past is I ran a website. Well, my past, and when I mentioned that people in the startup world used to help me, is I actually had a stickers website, two stickers websites. So I print and manufacture my own stickers. And I had one called Wall Glamour, and it was stickers for kids' bedrooms, like this kind of stuff you see on the wall. It's just self-adhesive stickers that you stick to your painted wall, obviously for children and that kind of thing. And I had a good couple of friends who were really into like usability and SEO. And it was in the north of England, and there was a whole sort of movement called Think Visibility. I met Dom and met Guy. They just took me under their wing, and Rich as well, and they just took me under their wing, and they just absolutely helped me, and we blew my website up, and I was on TV and everything because of their help with this SEO stuff. So I've been around SEO for quite some time. Know it kind of just, understand the fundamentals of SEO. So I kind of then stopped being interested because I was doing other things, etc. And I had a degree of success with my businesses. And then, so coming back to the beginning of this year, I started working for clients, doing anything, working for my brother's business, who's a web developer. And I started getting back into the SEO stuff. And I was like, like augmented reality. I'm talking about AI search is really crucial for small businesses, because as search goes, I don't know about you, but these days I just don't ask Google for stuff. I mean, if I'm looking for a product, I might look for it, but really, I want to know the first bit of it. So I'm researching within Gemini or Claude or ChatGPT. I'm doing the research for the thing that I need first, and then I'm asking for its link to where it is. So that I'm kind of passing all that sort of desire through an AI. And that means that maybe I'm early because I'm into technology, but ultimately that's where everyone's going. So small businesses need to have all that locked down, and especially as I think it's going to be more difficult, because if you already look at Google results, the top slug is AI. Then you've got the sponsors, and then you've got a few links on a page. So what used to be 10 links is now 3 really organic links. This is for traditional SEO. So anyway, the point is, got interested in this again, sort of reignited my passion for SEO and the nerdiness part of me. So then I thought, so I went back to Claude and I said, well, give us some ideas for businesses. And it mentioned a few, let's do a prompt PDF. I was like, who wants a prompt PDF these days? SEO. Let's do something about SEO. So then me and Claude, with my knowledge and my understanding, especially as a small business owner, and having worked especially on the front end of a lot of small businesses with other founders, is that we created a product, and the product is basically a website called Get SEO for AI. The idea there being that people know what SEO is if you're a business owner, so therefore you will know SEO for AI is about AI. So created this website, came up with this idea. So we created a little website with a PDF, and we got it up on Gumroad, and we've had no sales. I'll put that out there already. Nothing's selling, nothing's sold yet. Been a couple of weeks now, but I started pushing. I was like, what can we do with this? What can we do with that? And we ended up building out the infrastructure of what is a pretty awesome product. I am actually really excited about it because I think it's really valuable. Not valuable in necessarily that there's a financial value there to me, which is kind of the whole point of me doing it. But when I look at what me and Claude have created, I genuinely think it's good. So how it worked was there is a PDF that you would buy for $15, and then you would, in the PDF, it kind of tells you where we're going with AI search, and it tells you how AI search works. And then it basically gives you a prompt to the bottom of the page. You copy that into your own ChatGPT or any AI that you're using, and then you will get a response from that. And then you will understand where you rank, what you're seen as locally or nationally, etc. Who's your competition, etc. And so it goes through these things to the end point. So there's 20 different ones. To the end point of you basically getting copy that you can copy and paste into your own website that changes things. Honestly, it's pretty awesome. it's pretty not basic, but it's pretty down to earth in terms of like the technology availability. It's a PDF and your own AI, so you just copy and paste stuff. I just think it's actual genius, but I probably would say that because it was my idea. Anyway, so we built that, and then still crickets. So then we started to build out some other ideas. So we created a tripwire, which is well, the $15 now is actually the tripwire. Really, all I wanted to do was sell the $15 PDF. But research around topics, which I just keep dumping into Claude, like learn this. But research around the topic is pretty much like $15. Is probably too much for a PDF, especially like for my first product. So then we created a little free on the website. It's just like you go to the website, it's free. You just basically put in your information, you press the button, it then comes up with like ChatGPT, Perplexity, Claude, or Gemini, I think it is. And you click on the button, and then it auto populates into your own ChatGPT or AI that you're using. And then you press return in there, or enter, and it spits out the information that you need for that chapter, or for this entry, which is basically just to assess where you already are, or where you already aren't. And then obviously we want to upsell you to the PDF at the end of it. So then it's like, okay, what else can we do? So then we've got, I basically said to Claude, this is your business. This is not my business. We're not spending any money. So we're not putting any money in. Literally, the only money that I personally am paying for is the Claude actual monthly. I'm not spending on adverts. I'm not spending on signing up to something that needs $15 a month or $20 a month to send something. I don't want any of that. And that's a really hard parameter, because also the other thing is I didn't want it to be about me. I wanted it to be about Claude, or the product that we're building. So you said, you're not using my social media. You're not using my network to promote this. It has got to be all about you, and you have to execute and create it. And it's your business. I am just telling you what to do. Once we have money, so if we make a sale, we will take 50% of that sale and put it into adverts to then generate more sales, and so on. And hopefully the pot will get bigger that way. So that's the idea. Because initially I was like, 24 hours to make £100, and it goes, it can't be done. I said, well, it can be done. So what can you do about it? You got to think around these things, think out the box. What can you come up with? Can you sell something and make £10, and then you reinvest that £10 into something else, and so on. So then it came up with a whole strategy, which is that we kind of threw out the window. But the fact is that Claude just stops. It's almost a bit like a pessimistic junior. It gets to a certain level, does what you say, and it's really difficult to program it. Actually, I'm kind of deviating now actually off into the technical data, which I am more than happy to chat with you about going forward. But I just wanted to do an outline of where we are actually with Claude. But one of my main frustrations is that Claude stops all the time. It basically doesn't, it'll do an instruction, it might work for 30 minutes or 40 minutes, and then it stops. But this is where we're at right now. So as of yesterday, I was actually thinking of canning it. I've started 2 different threads because I thought one thread was just like dead. It just didn't seem to generate anything. So I restarted it again, and it seemed like, it caught actually a load of security issues that the other one had created. So that was good. And then, so I fixed a load of problems, but it still was really difficult. So in the UK, we are not really allowed to do cold outreach. You can do it if it's under the guise of, what's the word? There's a word, I can't remember what the technical word is. But it's like whether or not you think it's allowable, but you're not allowed to put people on lists. You can do cold outreach, but it's got to be in a certain framework. Anyway, I decided I don't want to do that. I'm going to do the US. One, the market is bigger, and they also understand tech, like quite well. So I got Claude to go look for all these small businesses. So I'm thinking, like in for this product, it's about the small business owner, electrician, plumber, pet care, whatever it is, like small businesses who don't mind doing a bit of their own sort of technology stuff. Like they've got their own website. They might do a blog occasionally. They might put their own news on their own website. It's on Squarespace or Wix, or they maybe got WordPress or something, or a Shopify store even. But it's someone who's like techie enough that can understand it, but I've made it so low bar. I made it so easy. Again, like I read, back in my tech days, I read a book called Don't Make Me Think. And it just literally is like a framework for everything in design. It's just make it simple, make it easy if you want to get stuff done. Anyway, so got everything in place, and then I almost gave up until this morning, because we're still no sales, till this morning when Claude reported back to me this thing, and I didn't even ask it to, but it was just hidden in this like dense amount of information that's coming back. And it was saying like we'd sent out a load of emails to dentists in Denver or somewhere, and what it noticed is that 7 out of the 10, I think it was, I can't remember, so that's a data point that we need to check. But so there was a certain amount, there's 7 links, don't know how many it was out of, 7 links, emails had been clicked on. They'd gone to our YouTube, because Claude and I signed in for the stuff for it, but Claude had basically created YouTube videos out of, it created slides of the technology, of the pain points, etc., of all of these issues that we've see for small business. And then I've applied, I said, go make me some videos on this topic, maybe some carousels, etc. So it's gone and done that. And we sent these emails out to them. They've gone and looked at this information. It said one of them even has come back to the link 4 times. So people are using it, even though they might not be buying from me, they're using it. And that's interesting, because that's really one signal that I wanted. I needed to see if there was a sign of life, first of all. Then second, a purchase. That's the key thing I'm driving Claude to, is finding a purchase. We've got to drive people to the website or Gumroad to buy the actual PDF. Now I'm realizing maybe buying off Gumroad is actually the problem. So we're going to look at that next. But yeah, driving someone to a sale is the key point, because if we can get to 1 sale, then it's validated. That's the whole thing about technology. It gives you the opportunity to validate. I have spent a lot of time. I've spent hours with Claude getting it to do stuff, but I haven't spent any money. I literally have not spent any money yet. And if this can work, then this is my whole case study of what I'm doing. It's like a 0 money down business. Anyway, I just wanted to do a video. I didn't expect it to be 23 minutes long, but I wanted to do a little video of where the project is, partly as a document to myself, but also I know that some of you out there are a little bit geeky like me and like to be interested in this. And I'm sure if I can get this business working, you would like to do the same, right? I mean, if we just have to tell Claude what to do occasionally and it goes away and does it, then, as whilst it is frustrating that it keeps stopping, it will still be a pretty good enterprise to be able to have it do the work for you, right? So there you go. That is my business idea using Claude. It is get SEO, forai.com. Go and have a look at it. Run your stuff through it. It's free. There's actually an assistant feature that I've developed. It's hidden. You can't find it. But if you're interested in it, let me know, and I'll send you to one of those disappearing link things, and then you can trial it. It's because what I've done is now taken the first 5 sections of the PDF and turn them into an interactive, so that you can basically just click through them. So I type your stuff in, click through it, and then it's sort of more like a process. And again, the idea with that is, which we've done in some A/B testing on emails, is we've sent those links out to see whether people are more interested in that than the PDF. The PDF will be $15 because you've got to do all the work yourself. The system, where you type it in and it spits out the information for you will be like a one-off $49 or something like that for people, so that they can go through it and they can get it right. There will be subscription, all that kind of stuff, if we get someone to buy stuff in the first place. Because the minute someone buys stuff, I will jump in as a real human and I will check with them that everything is actually, the right thing. Did they do the work? Like, because that's the other thing about all this, is like the technology side of it can be overwhelming. All of the information in the world is out on the internet. Claude can go and get it, or ChatGPT can go and get it. But for most business owners, we don't know where to start. We don't know why we are not ranking on SEO, on AI search. So what I'm providing is a service for people to basically find simple step-by-step way of getting their business in a position to be ready for when AI search is pretty much the main core way of searching for things. So, right, that's a 26-minute video on getSEOforAI.com. So thank you very much. Goodbye. Well, actually, I said that was I can stop this simply. I can't actually stop it simply. I'm going to have to look around because I've never done this before. So.